Hello and welcome to another Media Makers micro tutorial, and today I'll be walking you through how to use Adobe Spark Pages. And so what Pages is you can create compelling web pages to share information. And what's really great about this is that there's actually an app that you can do this on your phone, on a tablet, and also through a web browser. And they make the process super easy and streamlined to create a well-designed web page for you, for anything that you may need to make a post about. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you first go to spark.adobe.com, you will see a screen that looks something like this. And then to sign in with your IU account, you would go into sign in up in the corner. And then you want to log in with the school account. And then here you'll just type in your email. And then if it is your first time in Spark, you might get a little pop-up of like a tutorial to ask you what you're interested in making. But once you get through all that, it should look something like this. It's just like a navigation screen of your desktop of your different projects. So to start with the web page, you would want to go to create a project and go to web page. And you can see that there's tons of other options. And if you are interested in creating like a flyer online or maybe an Instagram post, they do have a whole graphic section, which we do have another micro tutorial up for that. So I'm going to click web page, and it's going to start looking something like this, where it's like you have a nice opening header where you can add your title, subtitle, and photo. And then just for the sake of this tutorial, I did write down all my information ahead of time. So this is just a nice step. If you are going to build a web page, it is nice to just go ahead and have all your information laid out for you, and you can just copy and paste it over. So I will be switching back and forth when I start going through the different motions of this, but I do want to kind of show you the overall layout of this and what you can do with the web page. And as you can see right away, a lot of these are all grayed out, and that's because you don't have any content yet, but we'll start adding content here soon. You can also easily switch out a lot of themes. So if you are working with a certain brand, so for instance, I have a Center of Excellence for Women in Technology brand, it does do a nice theme for you if you're looking for like a light, medium, or dark theme. They also have the default Spark themes. You are limited to what fonts that are within each theme, but they do a really good job with giving you a lot of variety still. And I'm just gonna click on you can have multiple brands, which is really nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to create brand just so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, so then this is what it looks like when you want to add your brand. So you can see you can upload your logo as a JPEG or PNG file. You can pick your color, where you'll use like that hex color or the RBG. And then you can also upload your fonts, which if you're using IU fonts, IU is really great, and they actually have all of theirs available for you to download. So that's what I did with the Center of Excellence for Women in Technology brand page. I'm going to switch back. And so for what I'm going to make today, just to show as an example, is I'm going to just make a web page that hosts a lot of the tutorials and live workshops that we've already done so far for the media makers. All right, so once you have your brand or your theme set up the way that you want, you can go and start building that web page. And for today's tutorial, I'm just going to do a quick web page that kind of highlights some of the events that Media Makers has hosted in this past year, with this being a new Student Alliance team for the Center of Excellence for Women in Technology. And so I'm just going to click add a title, say Media Makers, and as a subtitle, I'll just put Student Alliance Team. And you can leave this background as default if you would like with your theme. I think it looks a bit nicer if you add a photo to it. And then what's really great about Spark is that it has a bunch of free photos from Unsplash that you can use. And so you can see here, I just searched technology, and you have tons of different options for stock photos that you could use within this. So I'm just going to click that first one. You can see a group of people working on computers, and it looks just a little bit nicer, I think, than just that plain gray background. And so as you start to scroll, that's like the whole setup with Spark, is like it's a scrolling web page. So you're constantly just going to go from top to bottom. And you can see that you can add a photo, you can add text, you can add buttons, video, a photo grid, glide show. and a split layout. So the glide show is kind of like their fancy slideshow almost, or like one of those carousel photos if you've seen those on other websites. And then a split layout would be if you wanted a photo on one side followed with text. And so let me go back to my Word doc real quick just to see. So I have my Media Maker Student Alliance team, and then I'm opening up with our mission statement. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit text, and then you'll see you get a lot of similar options that you would see in most text building softwares, like if you are familiar with Word or Google Docs. And so your theme automatically picks out your header 1 and header 2. So if I did header 1, I might say like mission statement, and you can see that I'm using that Bit and Sans, which is part of IU's official font package. And then I'm going to hit this plus sign again and hit text. And then I'm just going to keep it regular. I'm not hitting header 1 or header 2. I'm just going to keep it regular paragraph. And then I'm going to go and grab that text and hit copy paste. And then you can see that I'm starting to build this web page. And you can still always see that you have these plus signs to where if you want to go back in and add content, you can. But once you do finish your page, those will be gone, and those spaces will be a lot closer. And so what's next on here? Okay, so I provided a button to go to our page on the Center of Excellence for Women in Technology website. So I'm gonna hit this plus sign here and do the button. So button text, I'm just gonna do like learn more. And then let me go, I'm gonna center it. And I'm gonna go grab that link again, copy that, paste that link in there and hit save. And so you can see that I have this learn more button here. And if I do click that, it'll go to the Women in Tech website. And then next I want to show off our recorded live workshops. And so I'm gonna go ahead and hit plus sign, text, and then I'm gonna see like what the header 2 might look like now. Oops, text header 2, and then recorded live workshops. And then I'm gonna hit plus sign video. And then, okay, and then I'm gonna go back to the Word doc and grab our YouTube link and paste that and hit save. And then already you can see that we have our Illustrator vector portrait showing up right here. And then I can just keep building this. And so next I have the Illustrator one. So we're going to copy that link and post another video, save. All right. And if I wanted to add a caption or anything above this, again, I can go back in and add that text, which I think here for the recorded live workshops, I just have a little brief sentence that kind of explains what they are. All right, recorded live workshops. I might center this. It might just look a little better, just so that it's like a completely centered scrolling page all the way through. All right, so then we have those. And then, let's see, event photos. So maybe now I do have a couple event photos from some of the things that we've hosted. So I'm going to go ahead and hit header 2 again. And I'm just going to hit event photos, center that out, and then I'm going to show you what the photo grid looks like. All right, and then you can still use stock photos to fill that if you would like. I'm going to go ahead and hit upload photo. And then I have I have about 4 here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit open. And I held shift and selected all of those. I think you can do one by one, but it's just a little bit easier to just highlight all the ones that you want. And then it's going to load. You can see that it's kind of processing, getting those photos in there. But it does a nice job for you, like organizing the way the photos will be set up. And you can always move backwards. You can switch where those go if you want. So maybe I want that one down there. Kind of just depends on what you are wanting to do with it. You can also replace it. You can make it a large photo where it is full screen, just about, and you can also delete it. So then once you're finished with your grid, you can hit save. And so now you can see event photos, and then I have those here. You can always go back in when you click on something to edit it back out or delete it. I've already shown how to embed videos, so I'm not going to go through and add all of our YouTube videos. But if you are interested in those, on our Center of Excellence for Women in Technology YouTube page, there is a playlist with called Media Makers, and it has all of our micro tutorials listed on there. So then, once you are liking the way that your website is looking, you can hit this preview button up at the top. And so now it's going to show you, it's loading right now, it's going to show you what it would look like if once you publish this and you share it with somebody else. And so you can see that Media Makers, I can scroll down, recorded live workshops, and then I see those videos, the event photos, and if you click on a photo, it does enlarge it, and you can scan through those. And then what's also really great, if you do use those stock photos, it does create credits for you so that you're not maybe taking a copyright from somebody. So it does always give credit to those photos. Another great thing about using a web page for something would be there is this present option. So if you're maybe just tired of building PowerPoints and want just a little bit more of an interesting way to display something for class, I think a web page is a really nice way to organize that information. I've used it before to give students tutorials on how to save a project a certain way and like exporting things out, and versus making a PDF to upload to Canvas, I just did this and sent them the link, and it probably took me a fraction of the time. So this present option does do a full screen, sort of like if you were doing a PowerPoint, and then you can still scroll through and it kind of sections that off in a nice widescreen format. And you can still click on everything that you may need. All right, and then you can exit out. So another thing that's really great about Spark is that Adobe is constantly updating it. And so a new feature now is that you can actually get rid of that header and footer if you don't want it. So this opening photo here, if you don't want that, you can turn it off, and then it's just more like a blog post almost. And if you are interested in tracking like the Google Analytics of people visiting your web page once you share it, you can get that tracking ID and paste it here. You can also enable cookie banner to your page. So they're constantly adding new features to bring traffic to your page, which I think is really great. If it is something that you're maybe, this is your first step to highlight like a new business that you're wanting to start up. I usually use it for either teaching materials, or I've used it for class presentations. So it's really flexible for what you would want to use it for, I think. And so another great thing about Spark is you can collaborate with multiple people. So if you hit this plus sign up here, you can invite people to this project with you. And then once you are done with the page and you like where it looks like, you can hit the share button, and you want to publish and share link. And so when you do that, you'll see this screen pops up. And again, you can see those photo credits. And then you can, if you want, you can pick a category. You don't have to. If you want to show that you are the author on the page, you can go and turn that dial on by clicking it. And then you can hit create link. Right, and then here you'll have the shareable link. You can copy that. You can share it anywhere you want. You can share it to your social media, in an email. You can embed it somewhere. So like what I've done with teaching is like I will make a page and link it onto my syllabus. Or if there's an assignment, they'll have to go and scroll through the Spark page for the assignment information. But you know, I encourage everyone to maybe just play around with it. It makes it super streamlined and easy to use with just using the plus button to add content. And I hope that this helps you in the future. And thank you so much for watching.